So I believe we can all agree that so far the year 2025 has been a complete mixed bag when it comes to movies. There's been some pretty good films thrown in the mix, but at the same time, some absolute duds out of the most anticipated blockbusters. That being said, there are still a handful of movies I am really looking forward to throughout the rest of 2025, so that's what I want to talk about in this video. These are in no particular order aside from the very last one I talk about. That one is clearly my most anticipated, so stick around for that. But let's get into it. Let's talk about movies yet to come out that I am really looking forward to in 2025 as fast as this year feels like it's moving by.
I created death.
First off, I want to talk about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein coming directly to Netflix. Now, normally I would not be too excited about this film for that exact reason. Straight to streaming going to Netflix feels like dead on arrival. I do not take these movies seriously. They are almost always garbage churn. But there are a couple of reasons I am very excited about this film. First off, director Guillermo del Toro. He is very hit or miss for me, I'm going to be completely honest. Some of his movies I absolutely love, like Pan's Labyrinth. This is a director, I almost always love what he's trying to do, but it's the execution that does not fully work for me. That being said, his style when it works is perfectly up my alley. And with the fact that we are coming off the high of Nosferatu by Robert Eggers, I really want to see a resurgence of these Universal Monsters characters, so I am really looking forward to Frankenstein and what he can do, his spin on this tale in 2025. Huge potential. Second off, if you know any of my preferences, I am fanatical about Mia Goth. She is gorgeous, she is a great actress, she takes on great projects. I love the Maxine trilogy. One of, if not the best trilogy of all time, in my opinion. I adored those movies. So the fact that she is being paired up with a renowned director who has a ton of potential, I am very interested in how this turns out. Again, I kind of want to temper my expectations because Netflix is involved, but being completely honest, I cannot wait to see how this turns out.
He's continued to urge the public to keep a watchful lookout for a serial killer who remains at large and is extremely dangerous.
So the very next movie I wanted to talk about actually comes out soon, and I didn't even know it existed until a couple of weeks ago, and that is called Strange Harvest. So this movie is about a group of detectives who are thrust into a chilling hunt for Mr. Shiny, a sadistic serial killer. I believe this movie takes place in either found footage or mockumentary style, where you have a fake police department, a fake killer, a fake case, fake interviews, everything, but it's meant to be hyper realistic, like this is a real case. That's how it's framed. And I don't know too much else about it besides that because I'm very transparent. Like a lot of the movies on this list, to be honest, I avoided the trailers or any of massive discussions surrounding them. I hate spoilers, so I don't do them anymore. The last 2 or 3 of this style of film I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the Poughkeepsie tapes. I did a review of that on this channel. I really liked Lake Mungo. I think that's highly effective. So the fact that we're getting another one of these and it looks like he's supernatural or something, like he can teleport around or fly, or there's some weird angle to it that really caught my interest. So this one is on my radar. Has really good reviews so far, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. The festival buzz last year was really good as well, so I am really looking forward to this one. I love that mockumentary style when it's done well. Strange Harvest. The next movie on the list is actually The Black Phone 2, and I would not have looked forward to this movie at all if it was a continuation of the first film or a prequel, but the fact that this movie is taking an entirely different angle, bringing Ethan Hawke back and kind of going Nightmare on Elm Street, again, color me intrigued. I thought The Black Phone was really good. When I saw it in theaters, I watched it at home on streaming with a couple of friends and family. I was kind of bored the second time, not gonna lie. I really enjoyed it the first time, but I don't know why. The second time when the mystery was all wrapped up, I thought it was just kind of mundane. So when I heard they were making a number 2, I was like, what could we possibly do with that? We got a conclusion at the end of it. Do I really want a prequel? Are we doing that again? But then I saw the first minor teaser for this one, and I saw that he's kind of this nightmarish entity that's like haunting people, and he has these supernatural powers. And I think that's kind of a genius take on this because there's nothing else to explore in Black Phone. So to just do a complete standalone movie that has to do with that, I am interested in seeing how kind of graphic and rated R this can go if this is just a complete slasher. Would not have been interested about this movie for all the reasons I said, but the fact that this is just doing a complete 180 and it could just be a ton of fun, it's on the list. I cannot wait to see what they do with this movie. I trust them.
Blacklisted. But there's still a way out for you.
Next up, we have The Running Man starring Glenn Powell, and he's really single-handedly the only reason this is on the list. It also has Josh Brolin, who I really enjoy, but Glenn Powell has not missed so far. He really feels like he's kind of becoming the modern-day Tom Cruise. He only takes projects that are really good. I have thoroughly enjoyed almost all of this guy's work, even since the old days of him being on Scream Queens when he was Chad Radwell. I quote that guy consistently. I like Top Gun Maverick. I like Twisters. Every blockbuster this guy plays as an action star, he has my attention from this point on until he misses. So this one, you have this guy who's tasked with trying to survive while everybody hunts him for 30 days. If he does do that, he will get life-changing money. This is obviously a remake. I've actually never seen the original. I've just heard about it a dozen times. But yeah, I saw the trailer for this one recently as well before something, and it really caught my interest. If he was not the lead, I probably would not be interested, but just due to his track record of having absolute bangers for action movies, he's on my radar. Anytime this guy headlines a movie, I will be there until he proves me otherwise. The next movie I want to talk about on this list is one you will probably never see coming from 1,000 miles away, and that is Wicked Part 2, Wicked for Good. Now, I actually never saw this movie in theaters because I did not think it was going to be my thing, and it was almost 3 hours, but people were going crazy about this. It did numbers at the box office, but my theater was sold out. People were dressing as witches every day I went. I've briefly told the story before on this channel that I recently flew to Hawaii, and it was like a 6 to 8 hour flight, and I had to kill a lot of time. So I was watching a lot of longer movies I had never seen before, Sing Sing, this. I really enjoyed Wicked Part 1. I thought it was a well above average musical, way better than my expectations were. But it had some pretty good performances, thought it was very stylized. It was oddly funny and comedic at points. I did not expect to smirk or chuckle at any point, but I did a couple of times. So my expectations were exceeded, so now I'm interested to see where the story goes. Really, the only gripe I had with that first film is it's a little bit long just because it's pushing 3 hours, and I also didn't really find it to have super iconic songs compared to a lot of other famous musicals I really enjoy. Other than that, I had a good time with it, so I'm interested in seeing how this story concludes and where this world goes, and it's just not a movie I would have ever anticipated at the beginning of the year I would make a video about this and include, but I had a really good time with it, so I cannot wait to see how they conclude this story and what they do with these characters.
And they never came back.
And the last movie I want to talk about on this list is easily my most anticipated, as I said in my opener, and that is coming out next week, called Weapons. I have been dodging teasers and trailers and spoilers for this movie like raindrops, to quote Max Payne. I have been so excited about this movie. I don't know anything about it. I just know the general concept that one day this woman's classroom, all of the kids got up, left their beds, left, and went missing, and nobody knows where they went. I don't know anything else about this movie besides the core fact. This is the most important detail. It is by the guy who wrote or directed Barbarian. And for the 1 millionth time, I will speak my testimony on that movie. I loved Barbarian. It's one of the best movies of the decade, in my opinion. It's very creative. It's oddly funny. It's so unique. It's so creative and ambitious. But the major core thing about that, and I say this all the time when people talk about scary films, Barbarian, in a way, is a meme movie. It kind of becomes weird. It does a 180 and it does a bunch of chances and just does strange things. But I stand by it. The first half of Barbarian, when they are in the Airbnb, is one of the scariest movies ever. I think that movie is absolutely terrifying. So the fact that the guy behind that is coming back to do another movie, and this one looks a lot more serious and it looks very strange. Again, I don't have a bunch of specifics, but it looks like it's leaning heavily into horror. I have not been this excited in a very long time. So if for some reason I come back next week, say that movie sucked, and then I fall off the face of the earth, I probably drank myself to sleep because I could not deal with the heartbreak. But anyways, there you have it, guys. That's my list of most anticipated. There were a couple of movies I had to bounce back and forth whether or not I talked about them today. So there's about 10 total I'm really looking forward to, but these are the 6 I settled on. Really looking forward to these ones. Comment down below. Let me know if you agree what your most anticipated are, or what your favorite movies so far this year are, because again, we're setting up for the end of the year list. Join me down below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.